All right. Well, hello everybody and welcome to our, what day is it? October 17th, all-in training. And I have so much on my heart and mind tonight that I want to share with you, which I'm really, really excited about. But I want to go over a few just announcements and things to remind you of. A couple of things I haven't shared with you guys at all. So you're going to be the first to hear it. And you guys are my leaders and you're the people that I see moving up and that I want to be a part of this. So first of all, you guys know it's the middle of the month and it's the 17th. And as a leader, you have to ask yourself, not beating yourself up, but ask yourself, how am I doing so far this month? Okay, so what were my goals at the beginning of the month? And so whatever your goals were, maybe it was go and charge your car or DIQ or whatever it may be, or Queen's Quarter sales and max out double credit. I don't know what your goals were at the beginning of the month, but it's a little bit past the middle of the month. And as a business owner, you want to ask yourself, how am I doing? And most of us, I don't think there's anybody who's exactly where they want to be on their goals, okay? So first of all, you got to let that go, that, oh my gosh, everyone else is whatever, and I'm behind. You got to let that go. And as a business owner, you look at, okay, what can I do to be in a radically different place between now and the end of the month, okay? So we're going to talk about building some momentum in a second, but I want to make sure you guys realize the importance of this double credit. This double credit is huge. If you've ever had any desire to walk across that seminar stage, and some of you have been to seminars, some of you haven't, but it is such an awesome thing to be able to walk across the stage in front of tens of thousands of people, knowing that you may have this huge accomplishment for either quarter sales or quarter sharing. And this month, and when you're a director, you get to walk across as a unit for your unit's accomplishments too. So 3 different categories that this month the company is giving us double credit. And anytime they give double credit, like literally, we want to live with a sense of urgency that you don't want this month to go by without maxing out double credit. And you guys are the leaders that I want you thinking bigger. I want you thinking about maxing out. Like, why not? We as directors, our goal is to max out double credit. I have challenged the directors that we all are going to max out double credit. For us personally, that's a 2,000 wholesale order personally. Now, if that makes you want to throw up, good, because it is a big goal that excites you, but it's really not that much when you break it down. When you break everything down, any big goal can be broken down in terms of baby steps, and it's not that big. It's really not. There's people, like I have a friend who she literally orders $4,000 a month, every single month. Every single month. She lives in Denver. Like, she is a selling fool. So 2,000 is nothing, you know? So it's a mindset, but maxing it out and then maxing out the quarter sharing with 6 qualified team members this month, you guys, that I want you thinking bigger. All of you, I know your goals, involve other people. And so for most of you, well, this is the group for directors and people becoming directors and you wanting us to join us in San Diego as a DIQ or as a director. And so you're going to want to share the business opportunity, right? And to not let this month go by without letting people take advantage of the charcoal mask and moisture gel renewal mask in the starter kit so that we can have double credit for quarter sharing, okay? So just want to make sure I remind you, this month is critical. And if you break down, we're going to share one more thing about the 2,000. If you break down the $2,000 wholesale, that really is only 20 miracle sets. And if you think about it, 20 miracle sets is not that much. You go to 20 faces, you'll easily sell 20 miracle sets if you're focused on closing them and working full circle, which there were just some Boxer messages sent out about the importance of selling things as a set, okay? So, first of all, want you thinking bigger. The other couple of big announcements that I want to remind you of is Susan Johnson is coming to town, and I think all of you that are on right now are local, and I don't want you missing the meeting, of course, but definitely that time with her beforehand. And you earn it, and I want to show her that she's doing that beforehand for the people who want to become directors and move up into leadership. And so you guys as leaders, we want her to meet you. We want her to meet you. We want her to know your name. Like I said on Monday night, you want corporate to know your name. You want to be in the space of corporate. You want them to know your story, and that happens in smaller group settings. And so you're going to want to earn the time beforehand, okay? So how do you earn it? You earn it by getting one new team member. That's it. Or 600 in sales, retail. 600 retail. I can't see everyone who's on, but I know that Miss Chelsea has already earned it by selling over 600. It's all month long. All you gotta do is sell 600 by the 22nd, or you move up a level, okay? So I know you guys all can minimally do that, okay? And then the other thing is retreat is next weekend. And although the deadline was the 15th, there's still time to come. And I would love to have you guys come and be in the space of nationals and top directors, because it's worth it. You may only have to pay like $20 more if you register past the late time, but it's going to be worth it to the sales that you make. You could use to help you pay for that. Hope you can join us. And then the other thing that I want to talk about before we jump into the training that I'm excited to share with you is that no matter where you're at, if you want to be in a different place between now and the end of the month, first of all, like I said, you look at, okay, what hasn't happened. And then I know for myself, I'm just sharing honestly what works for me. This doesn't always work for everybody, but I honestly said, I get mad. I get mad if things aren't where I want to be, or maybe I haven't been doing the work that I know I need to do. Of course, I beat myself up for a second, and then I'm like, no, I know I can do more than this. I know I'm better than this. I know that I have more inside of it. This is a double credit month, and I am not going to let this month go by without getting 6 new qualified personals and taking full advantage. And so for me, not for everybody, we'll talk about it in a second, that motivates me. You got to know what motivates you. But that motivates me to be like, come on, Candace, like I get mad, and then I get into action, and I get into massive action. And so I'm encouraging you, like if you want to be in a different place, get into massive action over the next 24 hours. And I'm challenging all of you to do one of 2 things, or both. Why not do both? Is to do, you've heard me talk about this before, and it's been a while since I've talked about it, but if you want to build momentum, if you want to be in a different place, you got to do a lot of activity in a short amount of time, right? And so I'm challenging all of us to do a 30-24 in the next 24 hours. So what that means is it's 30 contacts where you're initiating contact, where you are, whether it's calling or you're going and meeting people, 30 contacts within a 24-hour period. When you do that, it will help build momentum, because you'll have bookings on your books. You'll have new leads coming in. Most of you, just knowing most of your situations, you don't have much on your books, and you know you need to get leads, right? So that would involve probably 30 lead generating attempts, right? So do a lot of activity, 30 attempts in a 24-hour period. You guys can do that, right? To create momentum so that the next 2 weeks you can kill it. And so if it motivates you, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but for me, I get mad, and then I get into work and say, what can I do? What can I do? And then I get into action. The other thing I'm going to challenge you to do, because our sharing has honestly been incredibly low this month, incredibly low. And it's crazy, because we're doing this whole share-a-thon where anybody who listens gets entered to win $300 of product. The company's giving away the charcoal mask. And so you guys as the leaders, it's time to step up our game with sharing. It's time to step up our game with sharing. I know we can do more. So this is what I'm going to do. I have the $1 gift card thing going on right now for each person you share with. The other thing I'm going to add into it is for every 10 people that you share, now that they have to follow up with the director, okay? They have to follow up with the director. Guess what? You are going to get one of the new products for free. For every people you share with. I know you guys, we're not supposed to tell you, well, what's coming out next month, but it's a huge deal, and you want it, and you want it in your hot little hands. And so for every 10 people that you share with, and they follow up with your director between now and the end of the month, for you get one new product, okay? So I hope that excites you and motivates you, because we got to get on sharing, and we got to get on sharing this opportunity with people, because we cannot let this month go by. So there's nothing wrong with telling people, hey, I need people to just listen. I'm earning a goal. Can you just listen? Okay? All right. So I know that was lots of announcements, but I wanted to make sure you feel the sense of urgency. Okay. So the big thing that I want to talk about, I'm not going to have time to go into all the personality stuff. So I'm going to talk about something that we talked about last weekend at Kim McClure's retreat. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, okay? This is really important. Grab a piece of paper. You can't do it on your phone, because when you're on your phone, you'll get notifications, things pop up. No, put your phone away. Well, you're on your phone. A lot of you are on your phone. Never mind. But don't be messing with it. I want you to grab a piece of paper, okay? Grab a piece of paper. So at the top of your paper, I want you to write, what is your goal? What is your goal? What is your goal in Mary Kay? I know you guys, a lot of you are like, I would hope we're still in this group because you want to be a director. You want to be a director. You have a desire for leadership. You believe that God's called you for more in your life. So, you know, whatever it may be, director, free car, quarter sales. What is your big, like big goal? Okay, big goal that if you knew you couldn't fail, you would want that goal this year. Okay, so you got it. I'm assuming you got it because I know a lot of you are muted or blacked out. Top of the page. What is your big fat goal? All right. Now, this is the part where you really got to focus. And the number one reason people don't reach their goals is right here. Right here. Their limiting beliefs. Their limiting beliefs and the limiting beliefs they have about themselves, about that goal. Okay? So now we're going to take a couple minutes and I want you to write out, get it out on paper, get it out of your head, get it out of the crazy, get it on paper. I want you to write down what are the limiting beliefs that you have about that goal. Okay? So you're going to write them down. I want you to shoot for, I'm going to give you just a couple minutes and I'll give you just some ideas of brainstorming to kind of get your brain going. But I just want you to write them down. Shoot for 5 to 10, at least 5 limiting beliefs about that goal. Okay? This is very important you take the time to do this, you guys, because if you really want to be in a different place, you have got to change right here. And there were so many stories at the retreat about people that had their best years ever and became a director and got into a Cadillac or got into their Equinox. And they shared stories that when they actually did this exercise and followed through with the second piece, because this is the first piece because you got to get it out on paper, but then we're going to tell you what to do with that. But when they actually followed through with that, they saw huge quantum leap things happen in their business. And I know you guys want huge quantum leap in your business, right? That's why you're on, right? Is you're listening to me talk. And so this is very important. I want you to write it down on paper. Write it down on paper. What are your limiting beliefs about yourself? Maybe about the goal. So I'm just going to throw out some of the, I don't know, the ones that I've heard because I've been coaching people through this. And so maybe there's not enough time. Maybe I don't have the right people. I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to recruit. I don't know how to train people. I don't feel I'm worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. If people really knew who I was, they wouldn't want to follow me. I don't have what it takes. I'm lazy. I'm not disciplined. Like, I'm just telling you some of the things that I've heard and things I've struggled with and other people have struggled with. Well, whatever it may be, you know, all of those you may be like, okay, but I want you to get it down on paper. Some of the big ones for you. It's got to be specific to you. I just gave you very general ones that that are very common. So write them down. Keep writing. I want you to have at least 5, minimally 5. Minimally 5. But shoot for 10. Get all the ugliness out. Because here's the deal is we get crazy up here. And when we just leave things in our brain, we can't do anything to fight it. And we just let it, and then we're kind of like, oh, sometimes we just try and not think it, but then it's there, right? That the only way you're going to be able to actually fight it is if you get it out on paper. Get it out on paper, okay? So hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you have at least 5, okay? If not, take the time to do this. Really take some time to be still. And I know for me, I did it while we were in the class. And then I took some time afterwards to like pray and be like, God, what are the limiting beliefs that I have? What are the limiting beliefs that I have about the goal, you know, the goal to be a national and the goal to build leaders? Like, what are the limiting beliefs? And so this is something you can process. You know, we'll just get it to the few main ones or a few of them down on paper, and then we'll go from here. All right. So you got the ugly out on paper, right? Now we're going to do something with it, right? And this is the important part is I want you to next to each one, and you may not have time to do this tonight. And once again, this is something, if you really want to be in a different place, you have to take the time to do this, is that you take each of those limiting beliefs and you create a powerful, positive affirmation around that. So, for example, let's say yours is, I'm not good at recruiting. So you create a powerful affirmation saying, I'm a powerful recruiter. Everybody I talk to says yes. Women want to join my team. They are chasing me down, and I am a great leader and know how to lead them. I don't know, like whatever trips your trigger as far as like whatever your limiting belief is, you say the opposite in a powerful or in a powerful way. Okay. So not just I'm a bad recruiter, I'm a good recruiter. You know what I mean? Like make it a little bit more positive and a little bit, maybe a few more details. Does that make sense? And so we don't have time to go through each of them today, but let's say we just pick the one, I'm a great recruiter. I recruit great people on my team and women want to join my team. Okay, so you create that affirmation that goes against that limiting belief, okay? Now here's the important part. It's really easy to do that. You can go through that and I can walk you through it if you need if you need some help with like, hey, what would be a really good positive affirmation to counteract this? Now here's the really important part. If you're really serious about being in a different place, you will do this. So you take those affirmations, maybe there's 5, 10 of them, and for the next 21 days, because we know it takes 21 days to create a new habit. It takes 21 days to reprogram your mind and to reprogram that thinking. And so for the next 21 days, you have to say those affirmations minimally once a day, but I would shoot for at least 5 times a day. At least 5 times a day. And put an alarm on your phone. Morning, afternoon, evening, dinner time. Let's say while you're in the shower or something. I don't know. Whatever it may be. Pick like 3 or 4 or 5 times a day that you're going to say those to yourself. This literally would take you probably 15 minutes max. But prove me wrong that you won't be in a radically different place by saying these powerful affirmations for the next 21 days. At least once, but I'd shoot for 5 times a day. And like I said, I could share with you countless stories of people who were struggling to become a director, struggling to earn a Cadillac, struggling to earn that top sales director trip. And they did this, and it was the initial start that made the switch. And so they were able to get into action. And when they got into action, they were working differently. And they were working on purpose and with intention. And so we've talked about affirmations before, but if you haven't been doing them, then you're probably in the same place. So this is something to really, really get serious about. So I really felt like I wanted to share that. It doesn't take long to talk about. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. But if you're serious about being in a different place, do this. Now, the other piece to that is that I really want to hear, and I know I did this with the directors on Tuesday for our call, and then I really want to hear from you. What are your limiting beliefs? What are your limiting beliefs? And then that way I can know how to support you and how to encourage you and how to pour belief into you. And also to ask you how you doing on saying your affirmations. So I want to hear your limiting beliefs. And if you need help creating a powerful affirmation around one, let me know. I can definitely help you. Okay? So that's the first thing. And that's probably the most important thing that you need to learn as a leader is how to change your mindset. Okay? So are we all going to do that? You guys can do that. It takes 15 minutes a day at the most. Prove me wrong. You do this for the next 21 days and you're not in a radically different place. In your business, most likely, but more importantly, in your emotional health and how you feel about yourself, because that's most important, right? Okay. So that's the very first thing that I wanted to talk about as far as training. The second piece, for time's sake, I probably won't be able to go into all the personality stuff, but and so I'm going to just do an overview of the DISC because a lot of you have heard of it before, and I'll send out some information. But a lot of you haven't heard about the basic needs, and some of you have. A couple months ago, I did a little bit of training about this at Inner Circle, but I asked you guys to do your personality types so that I can know how to work with you, because a DISC, a D and an I and S's and C's, you just work with them differently. They have different needs. They have different triggers. They just have different things. And I, as a leader, need to know how to work with you better. And so if you did not take the time to take that personality test, which I'm looking, a lot of you that are on tonight did not take it. And so I would challenge you to take the time to do the personality test, because I want to know as a leader how to work with you better. And if I don't know, I mean, I can kind of guess maybe, but it really helps me know as a leader, okay? So the DISC, we're not going to go over right now because of time's sake, but I want to go over the 5 basic needs. And so there's 5 of them, and I'm going to kind of go through them, but you need to know which one you have because it's your basic need. And so I have all these notes, and so if I'm looking down, just know that that's why. And you've got to know what fills your cup, and if your cup isn't being filled, then we got to change that, right? And any of these basic needs can be met in Mary Kay, but it's important to know your need and then know the needs of your team members because then you can be a better leader, okay? So your basic need is God-given. It's threaded into your DNA. When your need is being met, it frees you up to pursue the greatest level of success. Do you get that? When your need is being met, it frees you up to pursue your greatest level of success. So this is really important because here's the deal though. She said, when your need is not being met, it causes you to feel as if you're working against resistance. It's like you're swimming against the tide. And I know for myself, it's a big deal that if I realize my need is not being met, I mean, it takes me usually a while to realize it, but once I realize it, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm struggling. This is why I'm having a hard time with this, is because my basic need is not being met. So do you know your basic need, and are you getting it fulfilled right now? If not, we'll talk about ways that you can fulfill that. You ultimately know your basic need when asked what would make you cry if you had to live without it. Okay, so I'm going to go over the 5 basic needs, and as I'm sharing these, I want you to ask yourself, would it make me cry if I didn't have that in my life? If I didn't have that in my life, would I literally be devastated? Because if you would be devastated, then you're probably that one. Does that make sense? If that's how you know. Okay, so she said, your need has nothing to do with your height of success. Meaning, most people think that high achievers are power and achievement. That's one of the basic needs. The need is not your results. It is what you need so that you're fueled to live in your most victorious life. If a person's need is not being met, this is a huge deal. If the person's need is not being met, they begin to exhibit stressor behaviors. The stressor behaviors, and and you need to know what triggers, because different things trigger different groups of people that have those different needs, and you've got to recognize when you're operating in a stress behavior. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to move on to the 5 basic needs. So there's 5 basic needs, and usually you have like 2. There's one main one and then one second one. Okay, so the first one is power and achievement. This is the need to conquer. They're empowered by an ambitious heart. The achievement is an urgent calling. It's a calling to be achieving. They have a highly competitive spirit, not always in competition with others, but competitive in the need to excel. So power and achievement people are very competitive. They strive to be their best. They can be number 1, or it can be the best of yourself. What you want to do, whatever you want to do. Loves to break records because of the win factor. They love the spotlight. They love the appreciation. They love the admiration and respect. They value relationships that challenge her. That's a big deal. They value relationships that challenge her. Has great clarity through the process and clears the way with her determination. They're not weighed down by incidentals. They take the lead without even thinking about it. Like people who are power and achievement, they are determined. Like no matter what obstacle comes their way, like nothing is stopping them. Nothing is stopping them. They're just like laser focused. They're energized by the win. They can become rigid in her leadership, or she can become rigid though in her leadership and expectations of others, and doesn't usually like messy emotions or complicated situations. Can easily find herself disconnecting and detaching too easily. So those are the negative pieces of power and achievement, okay? So they're energized by the win. So power and achievement, if that's you, raise your hand if you're power and achievement, because we usually have a lot of power and achievement girls, but not always, not always, definitely not always. So power and achievement, or if you didn't already tell me, then yeah, definitely tell me which one you are. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is a big one in Mary Kay. Big one in Mary Kay. And that's love and belonging. Love and belonging. And that's the need to influence. The need to influence. See, a lot of people think that I'm a power and achievement person. And although I like to see this my second one, my number 1 is actually love and belonging. That I am actually, a lot of you don't know this about me or may not know this, but I'm super sensitive. Super sensitive. Like, I get my feelings hurt very, very, very easily. And I hope that gives hope to some people out there that being loved and belonging is a huge, huge need for me. So that's my number one mostly, in case you're curious. Okay, love and belonging. They're empowered by the influence of affecting another person's heart or their action. Really want to influence other people and help other people. Has a dedicated interest in how others think, respond, and operate. Desires to be immersed in the middle of great heartfelt communication. Is usually physically affectionate, easily demonstrates love. Values relationships that stimulate her heart and her soul. Progress is made through elevating others' belief and understanding. Makes friends easily. They're energized by the ability to influence, and they're energized by being able to make a difference. So they want to be loved, and they want to belong somewhere. That's really, really important. However, when they're not, like for me, when someone's mad at me or I've offended somebody, I'm literally like devastated. Like, I just crumble like into this little pile. And so that to me, I knew that as I'm going through these, remember, ask yourself, if you literally couldn't breathe, if you didn't have this in your life, like, then you're that one. Okay. Now, here's the downfall is they can become too, so if this is you, they can become too absorbed and sensitive to the needs of others. And then the other thing is oversensitivity can complicate the clarity necessary to reach the goal quickly. The problem with love and belonging people is they can be oversensitive and then get all emotional and lose the direction and the focus that you need to achieve any goal, right? They find it difficult. Oh, this is a big one. Find it difficult to detach from unhealthy people or situations. So if that's you, raise your hand. Love and belonging, girls. By the way, like I said, if you have not already sent these to me, definitely do, because I want to know if you're a love and belonging girl and I've hurt your feelings. I know that that's not good. If you're a power and achievement girl and you're not achieving, then we need to get you a win. We need to get you a win. We need to get you on the bandwagon, because here's the deal: is power and achievement is my second one, and I know if I'm not performing at my best, then I like crumble as well, because it's not about being number one. I know I can do better, and I know there's more inside me, right? That when I'm not winning and I'm not achieving, that kills me. And so that's what a power and achievement person needs, is if you're not getting that, you just need a win. That's it. All right, the third one. There's a lot of people that said they were this one as well, and that is freedom and choice. The need for freedom. They're empowered by an open agenda. They do not respond favorably to rigid rules or strict conformity. They have an innate desire to create their own way. They easily stray from the planned venue. They love to soar in a positive direction. They desire to control their decisions, her direction, and her schedule. She values mature relationships that don't require constant attention. Loves to express herself through her creative design. Now, a freedom and choice person does not like being told what to do. And I've had to learn this. I have a couple directors who are freedom and choice, and I had to learn this early on in my leadership, that I was like, hey, so do this, this is what I do, They do not like that. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to have like a rigid schedule. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to do their own thing. And you've got to let a freedom and choice person soar and do her own thing, because because that's a deep need in her heart. You got to let her run free and go do her own thing. You know what? When I have a director of freedom and choice, and she's brilliant. It's been so cool to see what she's done. When I finally realized that, it was like, oh, she doesn't have to do what I want to do. That's fine. She can do whatever she wants. And not that I really cared, but when she really embraced that, she soared, and she has all these cool ideas and things that work for her, because she was able to express that and get that need fed. Okay, so they're energized by options. They don't want to be in a box. But here's where it can turn negative. Sometimes they can be perceived as rebellious or disrespectful. So if I have any rebels out there, that probably means you're a freedom and choice. Is negatively challenged by a specific strategy, structure, or tracking sheet. They do not like tracking sheets, and they do not like accountability. I had to learn that. I was trying to be like, hey, how you doing on this and that? And they do not like accountability. They don't want anyone checking in on them and ask them how they're doing on their business or on their activity. Operates out of the need to be spontaneous, does not like to be tied down by too many things. So if that's you, freedom and choice girls. Where are the freedom and choice girls at? All right, safety and security is the fourth one. The need for stability. They're empowered by a stable environment. They're not innately impulsive, needs to think things through. They are, they take a long time to make decisions. And if your leadership is too spontaneous, or if a leader is too spontaneous and just wings things all the time, this will stress out a safety and security person. They want to have structure. They want to have weekly meetings. They want to have a calendar. They want to have structure. That's really important to them. They value trust and continuity. That's what it is. In relationship, they feel most confident and comfortable when there's a known plan. Motivated by the ability to control and create her own future. Feels better to save money than to spend it. Seeks peace. Peace is really important in stability. They're energized by a savings account. Do you know, so Daisha, I don't know if you guys know who Daisha Wiegand is, but she is a national that came in. She's 24 and became a national sales director. She literally, I think it was like 3 or 4 years, became a national sales director. And I remember her story. She did million and she was planning a wedding and had a job and something else. I was having a kid. Yeah, all those things, and did million. So whatever. And most people think she's a power and achievement person, but she actually is a safety and security person. And when that need was being met, where she was getting the security piece, then she was able to thrive, right? And so you have to know, if you're a safety and security person, you know, sometimes it's easy to want a stable job, but you can have that stability in Mary Kay if you work consistently. And you are the most secure person and the most secure thing you can have out there, because any job, you can get fired at any second. People think they have stable jobs. I mean, the government is letting people go. I mean, seriously, no job is completely stable. You're the most stable person that is out there, but you have to work it consistently, right? To be able to be, so if safety and security is important to you, you have got to be consistent about working when you know you have it set up to work. And then the last one is fun and pleasure. I know a couple of you said that this one was a big deal for you. They have a need for adventure. And for fun. They're empowered by a party. They're motivated by the ability to have fun. They're and conversation and laughter. They do not respond favorably to serious, dull boardroom conversations. Boring meetings are not for them. They're drawn to the music and they're moved deeply by music. They're inspired by the opportunity to experience the uncommon, new venues, new adventures. Loves a vacation for the experience, but not necessarily the rest. So, fun and pleasure person wants to do all these things, but vacations are not restful. They're willing to work hard in order to have fun options. Like I know this lady, Crystal Trojanowski, you may have gone to some of her classes at seminar, and I remember her saying she's a fun and pleasure girl, and she would work her tail off. She'd work her tail off like 3 or 4 days a week so that she could go on vacations for 3 or 4 days a week, because that fun and pleasure was so important to her, that she worked hard so she could have that fun and pleasure and go. And she was telling me about all these crazy adventures that she went on and all these cool trips that she did on, but she would work her Mary Kay business so that she could have so much fun and go on all these adventures with her Mary Kay business. And that was important to her. And so you've got to know what's important. Oh, there, let me finish this one up. They're energized by laughter, and it has got to be fun or she's going to make it fun. All right. And I used to not be a very fun person. I know you don't believe me, but I really had to up my fun quotient because I didn't want to lose the fun and pleasure people. Because I know that it's important to make things entertaining. And I wasn't naturally entertaining, but I wanted to learn. And so it's something that you can learn, but you want to also tag team with other people. Like, let me finish this one. I'm getting off and distracted. They're not motivated. Fun and pleasure people are not motivated by workshops or long trainings unless they're entertaining. They schedule several vacations, plus a lot into her schedule that's not interpreted as necessary or even considered goofing off. Anyways, I didn't read that very well. They put a lot in their schedule that is not interpreted as necessary or even considered sometimes goofing off to a need to conquer person. And so fun and pleasure people, they need to have fun and they need to schedule lots of fun in their life. That's really important. So here's the deal. I ran through those really quickly. You've got to know, first of all, which one are you? If you've not already sent it to me, I want to know. And it's normal to be two. Like I said, it's very normal to have two top ones. Okay, I'm going to recap them, and then I really want you to send them to me afterwards if you've not already, because I know I have only gotten maybe like 6 or 8 maybe from different people. And so I want to know, are you power and achievement? Are you love and belonging? Are you freedom and choice? Are you safety and security? Or are you fun and pleasure? And like I said, you've got to know yourself and know what you are, but also know, okay, what I was going to say earlier is I had to partner with somebody else who was fun. Because if you're not a fun and pleasure person and that's an area you need to work on, partner with somebody who is. Develop, team members who have those strengths, and then have them help you with that arena if it's not something that you're great at or that you love. And if you are being frustrated, I'm going to go back because I think several of you came on late. I'm going to go back to what I read at the very beginning. It said, your basic need is God-given. It's not good or bad. It's who you are. It's your DNA. And you got to know that. And when your need is being met, it frees you to pursue your greatest level of success. So when you're getting that fulfilled, you can run full out because you are feeling fulfilled in your business. However, when your need is not being met, it causes you to feel as if you're working against resistance, like you're literally swimming against the tide, you guys. And so you've got to know your need. And if your need is not being met right now, we need to talk, because you can fulfill all those 5 needs in Mary Kay, all of them, but in different ways. That if your need is not being met, we need to talk right now, because we need to get you a win so you can be back and operating full out and running full out these next 2 weeks so that you can fully be all that God's created you to be, and not feel like you're fighting against all this resistance, okay? And like I said, I have to catch myself. That's half the battle. And I know a lot of you guys in situations, like I talked about at the very beginning, a lot of you came on late, and I said at the beginning, if you're not where you want to be, that's okay, but let's get into massive action these last 2 weeks of the month. And I'm going to remind you what I challenged you to do, because I don't know if everyone is on for this, and I want to make sure that all 14 of you that are on heard this, that I have issued you a challenge for the next 2 weeks that we get into massive action, because if we want to change things, we've got to do something different, right? And so you're challenged to 2 things. First of all, a 30-24 in the next 24 hours to make 30 contacts in the next 24 hours. And I'm going to post it in the group, the people that did it. 30 contacts in the next 24 hours. And that can mean booking calls, lead attempts, interview attempts, where you actually get a conversation. I don't mean send out 30 text messages. Okay, I'm done. No, it needs to be a conversation where they get back to you. I would try to have as many of these 30 on the phone, like an actual conversation. Okay, I'm going to make at least 20 of them need to be on the phone, okay? Because, and if you're texting them, say, hey, when can you call? Because you will get so much better results if you can actually have a conversation. Now, it counts as a texting if she converses back and forth with you and you get something happens, like a booking or a sale, or she watches the information, okay? So 30-24, we're going to do some recognition starting right now, between now and the next 24 hours to really gain momentum, okay? The other thing you've been challenged to is to share. And you can earn the new product, 1 new product for each 10 people you share with, and they follow up with you. And you are going to want this product in your hands, because I can order it in a week. And that's another perk of being a director. Some of you, like I know Laura, loves the new products, and she hates that I have this box that is sitting in my office that has all the new products in them, and I get to play with them. And that's one of the perks of being a director. Just a little side note. Laura knows that box has been sitting there for a while, and I didn't open it for a while because that didn't motivate me, but for some of you, that does motivate you. But anyways, I want you to be able to earn them before you can actually order them, okay? So that's it. And I didn't have time to go through the DISC thing because I know it's getting late, and I really wanted to do the limiting beliefs thing. So if you weren't on for this, but for that piece, please go back and listen to it, because if you want to be in a radically different place, you got to work right here. And so I challenge you to take that seriously. And I want to hear from you, okay? So I'm looking at who's on, and I want to hear from you in the next in the next 24 hours, if not right after this call, of what were your limiting beliefs? What were your big limiting beliefs? And let's talk about a powerful affirmation around that if you've not already created it. Okay, so I'm looking at who's all on. All right, got your names? All right, so I want to hear from you. In the next 24 hours, I would challenge you to send me a message right now, and let's talk about your limiting beliefs. And then let's talk about creating some powerful affirmations so we can shift your mind, so we can get you in a different place. Because I know y'all are ready for a breakthrough. I know you're all ready for a quantum leap. And it starts by being very intentional on changing that mindset and changing the mindset and then getting into massive action so that you can kill it this month and take full advantage of double credit and be able to celebrate. So we'll be able to celebrate with you at the end of the month because you achieved your goal. So. All right, guys. Well, that's it. And I hope that that was helpful. I am going to send out this sheet on love and belonging. I'll email it out so that, or love and belonging on the basic needs, so that if you wanted to, because I ran through a bunch of information quickly, and we'll go over the DISC stuff later. I'll probably just talk about it a little bit later because that's important too, but that's a whole lot training. So, all right. If you haven't taken the test, send that to me too. So many great things. It's going to be an awesome month. I'm excited to celebrate with you. Let's go make it a great, like our best ever next 2 weeks, because there's 2 weeks left in the month. 2 weeks, you guys, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to kill it. And so no more procrastination. We're going to get into massive action and we're going to have our best months ever together. All right.